Hello and welcome back to the Fastest Podcast. I'm your host Jazz, and while it is a crime that our Qatar expert Dogra is not here with us today, I am joined with good company with Dan and Pigeon, and we are here for our Qatar preview. We're gonna touch a little bit on the last race. And look ahead to the weekend in Qatar, see what we think's coming up. Obviously, the championship battle is well and truly alive, and we will be covering that in some detail. But first, I think let's kick it off talking a little bit about the rookies. As we do close up the season, obviously we've seen some very impressive performances from Ollie Behrman in recent weeks. Isaac Hadjar, Bortoletto's also been having a time. They've all been very impressive this season. So let's talk a little bit about them as we do come to the end of the season. Let's start with Ollie Behrman. It's been a great second half of the season for him. So do we think that going into, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, do we think that he could continue that streak and maybe get on the podium?
I think podium's a stretch. He is with the double McLaren DSQ. He is on a 5-race streak of points finishes. It was 10th, but still, that's points. I think he's towards the end of the season. He's just really come alive. If you look at some of his earlier moments when we said he can pull it together if he doesn't make the silly mistakes, because he is on, I believe, 9 or 10 penalty points at the moment. Um, he's not made any big mistakes in the last couple of races. He's been battling with some of the top runners in recent races. He's pulled off amazing qualifying performances. He's just done it, and yeah, I think he is going to be someone to watch next year.
Yeah, I was very underwhelmed with him for the first half of the season, to be honest. I was expecting a lot more. Um, but look, the second half of the season, he's regrouped after the summer break. He said he had to. He had to analyse where he was going wrong. He's done that, and he's bounced back. So fair play to him. Qatar, Abu Dhabi, he'd raced there before last season with F2. I'm expecting another strong showing in both races from him.
Yes, I mean, the reason I bring up the podium is obviously because he did get pretty darn close in Mexico, and seemed like he's really been chasing that strong finish again. But I'd say it might be out of the question.
I,
Well,
th- I
we've got
think I think that Mexico performance of him might be one of my favorites of the year. To be fair.
I mean, it was unreal stuff. That overtake on Max, just the whole thing. It was a really really competitive weekend for him. And Haas has been doing quite well in general this half of the season, so it is good to see. Coming on to Hadjar, there was another points finish for him in Vegas. The V carb, it was strong. I mean, it's hard to tell kind of with Lawson. I think that incident kind of ruined his race a little bit, but Hadjar's probably been my rookie of the season so far. Obviously, Behrman is now really in the mix of that too. Do we think that Hadjar will finish as rookie of the year?
Yeah. He's got a podium in a average car. Call it what it is. It's a mid-table average car. And he's performed well. He has dipped off as the season's gone on a little bit. I think he went on a 4 or 5 pointless run, but again, he's bouncing back. He's scoring points again, and overall, he's been impressive. I didn't have high hopes for him coming into the season. I personally, I've seen him in F2 a couple of seasons, and I thought he's okay. He's not going to set the world alight, but yeah, I've been really impressed with him.
I think with Racing Bulls, it's their qualifying pace that's pretty strong. You see them in the top 7 a lot of the times. But then when it comes to the race, it's either the race pace or strategy where they mess up. I think that saved them this year. You see a lot of, we call it qualifying championship as well. Yeah, I think for Racing Bulls, and especially Hajar, he's qualified really well this season. If you look at throughout the entire season, whether it's wet, whether it's dry, whether it's changing conditions, whether it's people out of place, he always seems to be somewhere in there. And yeah, you can only applaud it. For Rookie of the Year, I'd say the race is only getting more interesting for that one. As you say, Behrman had a rough start, but he's doing really well now. Looking at Antonelli, he's only improving. Yeah, can't really call it now, but I think towards the end of the season we might have a clear winner. But as we said before, it's a really competitive field we have this year and next year as well. So it just shows that we have a really good batch of drivers right now. And when someone does make a silly mistake, they tend to get more slack for it than they would if they make more mistakes.
I mean, we did touch on Antonelli in our Vegas post-race debrief, but obviously can't have the rookie conversation without talking about Antonelli, because what a race he had in Vegas. What a race he had in Brazil. You know, he's been on form at a whole new level to what we've seen him performing at all season. Prior to that, Imola upgrades, horrible situation. But he's come out the other side of that, and he's really been matching George Russell, ahead of George Russell. Vegas was just he played the team game. He did a great stint holding up, Leclerc and Piastri, and I think he somehow finished that race P3, P4, and P5. That's quite impressive in itself. So
fourth across the line, fifth in the classification, and then P3 for the final one.
That has to be the most finishing positions we've seen from a driver in one race. So you got to hand it to him.
Yeah, doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
I mean, his Las Vegas performance reminded me of the Russell P3 meme, where it's just like, starts the race, does nothing, P3. In this case, it was Kimi qualifies P17, pits early, does nothing, P3. He kind of went under the radar, but yeah, it was an amazing performance.
I wouldn't say he did go under the radar, though. He was pretty much the highlight of my race. He was the only thing keeping me awake at a certain point, because he was given, two objectively faster cars and more experienced drivers a really hard time. And it was just really impressive to watch. The management at that point, it was kind of like, you got the penalty, so have some fun. And he really did help, because Leclerc was on an absolute mission. So it was very impressive to watch. He's really pulled it back for me in my view of him this season. I was a bit like, in the middle of the season, it wasn't looking great. I did sort of feel that it was too early. And I think he's just proved me and everyone else who thought that just completely wrong. He had a really, really strong race. And obviously, we've got 2 tracks coming up that could really work in Mercedes' favour. So I would say over the next 2 races, he was probably the one to watch for me, championship battle aside.
And Russell. Russell's had a
Yeah.
really strong season. So, I mean, Russell will probably go on and win Qatar or the sprint or do something, or he's definitely going to beat 1 or 2 of the championship contenders. I have a feeling. And I have a feeling it'll be both McLarens. I think Mercedes have a lot to say in this. I
was about to say, yeah, I think Russell could decide this championship. Yeah. I mean,
and that's fine.
The thing is, if Norris wins Qatar, he's champion. So, but if they do have an off weekend, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what Ferrari, Mercedes have to offer.
Not
Ferrari
sure
haven't had much to
Ferrari.
offer.
You never
really
know.
thought.
You never know.
I totally agree with you, but I did go into Vegas with that mentality of, oh, Mercedes and Ferrari. And I came out of it going, Mercedes? You know, it's... They've really been the team that have made things difficult for the championship contenders. Ferrari are just, I think, trying to survive and get through clean. Leclerc, as I say, was on an absolute mission. So... But Mercedes are really the ones that are getting in the midst of things. And obviously that double McLaren DNF very helpful for them at Mercedes. So speaking of the dreaded championship battle, let's move on to that and talk about that a little bit, because obviously what a time to be alive. Honestly, it's just completely swung the other way. There was a big bulk of this season where we were going, well, Piastri's run away with it. Haha, good for him. And then Norris went on his comeback tour. And now... and now Max Verstappen is level on points with Oscar Piastri going into the second to last race of the season. 24 points behind Lando Norris. Who saw that coming? It wasn't me.
Nope.
I don't think anyone would have predicted that. Yeah, I mean, Verstappen and Norris have just been on it. They since the summer break, they have been putting in performances that you can only describe as champion worthy, in my opinion. They have, whether it's either one at any given weekend, they have put in the performances. They have dominated races. And you see now with the comeback that Verstappen has made, and with the comeback that also Norris has made, because he was also like 37 points behind at some point. That's also a 50-point swing in points. So, yeah, they have both really shown what they have. And on the case of Piastri, he has just dropped the ball a little bit. I think he's finished P5, P7, P6 throughout the entire post-summer break races, which averages to about 10, 20 points, 10, 12 points a race. And this is the result. You just miss out on a bunch of points while your rivals are scoring points left and right. He's had 3 DNFs. I would say did not scores more, but yeah, a DNF in a sprint in Baku and then Las Vegas. Doesn't help either, especially when Verstappen wins those races. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, from my perspective, we have got 3 drivers that all deserve to win the championship. Maybe not everyone will agree with that assessment, but I mean, Oscar's performance in the first half of the season, in his 3rd season in Formula One, you can't knock it. It has completely tanked at this end of the season, but he was leading for the majority and gotta hand it to him for that. Max has made an absolute just Max Verstappen moment of all moments, and he's done what we all should have assumed that he would do. And it's just been incredible to watch. But also Norris, he was getting absolutely torn to pieces because he just wasn't matching. And now he's leading the championship semi-comfortably. Maybe not anymore. But, you have got 3 of them who have earned it to be in the positions that we are in now. So ultimately, whatever does happen, hats off to each of them. I'm really stressed. I'm really, really stressed about the whole thing. But it's fine because it makes for good racing.
And then we come to Qatar.
I mean, yeah. Of course, me and Jazz are biased towards Red Bull or McLaren.
Well, as a neutral, because it's unlikely
he's a Hulk fan, so
It's not impossible.
it's highly unlikely. So, as a neutral, what I would say is McLaren, Piastri, and Norris throughout the season have made too many mistakes. As a collective, as driver error, as team error, as we found out in Vegas. If Verstappen had been in that McLaren, he would have tied this championship up and it would be done. If Red Bull had had their act together and had this car that they've got now at the beginning of the season, I think Verstappen would have wrapped it up by now.
Yeah.
My money, if I was a betting man, would be Max Verstappen. He will win the sprint. He will win in Qatar. But all Norris needs to do is finish third. But I still think there's a Norris bottle coming up. I could just see it.
The one thing...
There's a Norris bottle coming up. There is. And he hasn't bottled it. Well, actually, he bottled it in Vegas turn 1. But that was embarrassing. He tried to be Verstappen and then got it wrong. It was embarrassing. But that aside, you know, he's got a mistake in him. Mr. Cool, Mr. Calm, Mr. Piastri, he's dropped the ball. He has dropped the ball, and he's not recovered from his Azerbaijan crash. You know, everyone was saying he's this, he's that, he's got it in his mind. No. He's still very young, but this second half of the season, he's dropped the ball. He's been a bit disappointing, if we're being honest. For me, the 4-man coming into this is Verstappen. He's still got nothing to lose. He's got the Norris mentality when Norris had the DNF in Zandvoort. Nothing to lose. Verstappen's got nothing to lose. If he takes out Norris, is he going to, you know, he'd rather go for the gap than not go for it. So This is wide open. Piastri is due a good race at some point. And last year...
We've been saying that for a couple of races now, and he really hasn't stepped up.
No, but you look at last year, he was struggling Mexico, Brazil, Vegas, etc. But he pulled it back in Qatar last year. I think the sprint or whatever, he was winning the sprint until he let Norris through, played the team game. So it's still open for all three. But I don't know. I would put my money on Verstappen.
I think that was an all-time Dan speech right there. I'm just gonna say.
Goosebumps, no. I think at this point it's going to be pace versus pressure. Whether you have the pace in the car is going to matter less because every team is so close together. I think it's the pressure that's going to get you at this point. Because we have seen Norris and Piastri make crucial mistakes. We have seen the same from Verstappen this season. We've got Barcelona. Yeah, that's the most obvious one. But also, if you look at races like Miami, where Piastri just beat him on track by playing the Verstappen game, just putting the pressure on until they fold. So we have seen all three make mistakes this season, and especially with it being this close right now. If any of them make a mistake, especially if Norris makes a mistake, because he is the leading man, if Norris makes a mistake, he's not going to lose everything, but it will make the pressure even bigger coming into Abu Dhabi. Same goes for Verstappen and Piastri. If they make a mistake, it's over. If they make a mistake, if Norris wins that race, it is over. Done. So if the pressure doesn't get to any of them, we could see it still wrapped up in Qatar. We could still see, if Norris scores a P4, then that's 12 points to whoever wins. So, it's going to be close either way.
I hate it all. No, it's wrapping up quite nicely, isn't it? I mean, it's what we want to see as racing fans, because above who you support and all those other things, it is just great battle. As painful as it may be at times, it's been a great battle. And I mean, we couldn't have predicted a few months ago that we would have a three-way title fight going into the last two races of the season. So I will definitely take it. I will say though, on if Max had the car, if Red Bull did this, if McLaren did that, Max would never have been fighting his teammate. I think that is something to take into consideration. He wouldn't have had anyone to take those points off him. So at a certain point, it's easy to say that Max would have absolutely wiped the floor with both of them, etc., etc. But as we have seen since the age of Max Verstappen began, he's not had any competition from his teammate. And even if he did have a teammate that was perfectly capable with the car, it's hashtag Team Max Verstappen. There's no second driver that's also going for the championship.
That's on McLaren though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that is on McLaren, but I think it's, there's two sides of it where you can say, fair enough, Red Bull want to operate like that, but it's a each team has two drivers, and McLaren have, for all their faults this season, and there have been many, and I, as a McLaren fan, have been so disappointed at points in this season. But I do respect the fact that they have given each driver's their moment, and they have tried to be fair, and it doesn't look right from the outside. And we can sit here and criticize McLaren for literal hours on picking every perceived mistake that they've made. But at the end of the day, at least they've got the best teammate pairing on the grid. And that is up there, and they've shown that, and they've proven that, and the fact that it is still so close going in, both drivers are in contention, they haven't thrown that away.
Yeah.
I have to give that to them. It's harder, I think, to be fighting your teammate all the way through the season than it is for your team to prioritize you in the best car, send you out there. Of course you're going to win the championship quickly.
Well, what I would ask you then is, if you put Piastri in the Red Bull, forget Tsunoda because he's irrelevant in this stage, right? But you put Piastri in that Red Bull. Do you think he's still got a shot with 2 races to go of winning the championship?
No.
There you go.
I must say, I wouldn't give him a shot either way with the current pace. He's.
But the reason
as a season, as a collective.
Well, the issue with Red Bull and the debate of Max Verstappen and his teammates, we have since Ricciardo left seen 6 drivers in that seat, just about. Say 5 if you don't count Lawson, but we have seen Albon in that car, Gasly in that car, we have seen Perez, which was the most prominent among them. Yeah, it's 5. Sorry, five drivers. They have all been in that car. They have all struggled to keep up. Perez was the only one who got close, who actually beat Verstappen on track, and he absolutely crumbled in 2024. Now, I don't believe it's all the car. I don't believe it's all Max. I'm saying it's a balanced situation. But that car is difficult to drive, which has been proven. But Albon, Gasly, they are podium sitters, race winners. They are not bad drivers. Same goes for Tsunoda, because he was absolutely crushing it in that V-Carb. So they are not bad drivers that Verstappen's gone up against. Yeah. And I don't think anyone would do as well as Verstappen in that car, because, of course, the car would be tailored to him. They could say it's not, but you want to get the fastest out of that car, and the best sensor you have in the car is Max Verstappen. You're going to listen to him. You're going to implement the ideas that he is suggesting, because at the end of the day, you want to finish first.
And he's the best driver on the grid. And I'm not a Verstappen fan. I'm just saying it as it is. In my opinion, I think he's the best driver on the grid.
I don't disagree. I I really struggle to have the who's the best driver conversation, purely because I just think they all do different things in different ways.
Of course.
And
But I think, okay, he's the fastest driver on the grid.
he's the fastest. I absolutely
Maybe not the
give you
best,
that.
but you know, you got to put everyone's good at different things, you know. But he is definitely the fastest on the grid.
Yeah, and I mean the fact of the matter is
He's the best, but
you've got to be fast to be the best. So I'll give it to him. Like he is probably, if you take it all into account and look at it and pull it all apart and apply all the different things you've got to apply to get that answer. Yeah, he probably is the best on the grid by a fair margin at
get
this
rid of
point.
the tantrums and yeah,
exactly. That's kind of the bit that lets it down for me.
Yeah, because if he just let Russell
as a Lewis
through,
Hamilton fan,
if he had just let Russell through in Barcelona and not crashed into him, he would be so much closer to Norris.
Yes, but also if they had given him the right tires, then he wouldn't have been in the situation at all. I still blame Red Bull for that whole incident because it wouldn't have happened if he'd stayed on the softs. Also, you say Spain, but I think you can pick like 4 other moments in the season
Bahrain,
where you know he threw it away without having one of those moments. I think you can pick any moment for any driver where they just blatantly gave it away, which is bad performance.
I don't remember GP telling him to ram it into the side of George Russell, but that is neither here nor there.
Qatar, let's talk Qatar.
Qatar.
I was about to say, we haven't even discussed the most horrendous part of this week yet, which is we're going to go to Qatar.
The fact of the matter is, Qatar is the least interesting part about the weekend in Qatar because, you know, Norris, he's got outscore, he's got to get 2 points up on both of them, I think.
Yeah.
However, whatever that means. I'm not the mathematician.
Basically, he needs to win. He needs to win the race.
If he beats both drivers, he wins the championship.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to win. He can finish 6th, Verstappen 7th, Piastri 8th. He's won the championship.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true.
That is true.
My question would be
how. He just
how.
needs to beat his rivals.
If that happens, that would be the most interesting race of the season. I promise you.
It would, because also, who the hell is beating them?
Yeah. No, but like he needs to get 2 points on both, and he's 26 points clear of both of them, and then he's champion because you can only get 25 points in a season in a race this season. So that's it.
It's that simple, Lando. Just what was it? His engineer said, Will Joseph. Shout out for the best engineer message of the season. Just do more. Just do more, Lando, and it'll all be okay. You're gonna win, mate. Just do more.
I still believe that Must Be the Water would be the best engineering message of this season.
I mean, that is absolutely up there. That is what a moment. What a moment for the sport. As a whole. But the fact of the matter is, Qatar it's hot and it's difficult and it's painful and everyone has some kind of medical emergency when they get out the car. And it's just bordering on inhumane, I would argue. I don't particularly get much out of this race. It's one of those circuits that kind of looks like it's taken a bit of a lot of other circuits and they did it wrong. So it doesn't work for Formula One. Well, that's kind of...
Let's put something first. It's not an F1 circuit. It's a MotoGP circuit. I don't think it has any place to be the penultimate race of the season. Put it behind Bahrain. I don't care. Just not in the final 5 races of the season. We've talked about this before. We need Brazil back as the last race of the season. We want good racing tracks as the decider, because then it all comes down to which driver is the best. You really need a driver track.
I would argue you can keep Abu Dhabi as the last one. No one is getting... Hear me out. No one is getting overly excited about Abu Dhabi. Fine. But make Brazil the penultimate race because, right, something can be you could call a spade going into Brazil. Brazil will cause the chaos. And then you go into a regular track for the last race of the season. You've got to clear up all the mess that Brazil created.
I just want chaos. You want a Lewis Hamilton 2008 title decider. You don't want an Abu Dhabi 21 title decider. You want variables. You want weather. You want, ability to overtake. You want
That is the most important one, yeah. Ability to overtake.
Exactly. That isn't DRS assisted, can I just add? I mean, I don't know what, like Vegas, I don't know what Qatar is going to bring without the DRS zone, because you can only overtake into turn 1 on a DRS straight.
Well, let me give you a few predictions ahead of any race-related predictions. We're going to have angry drivers, we're going to have hot drivers, and we're going to see no overtakes. That's my prediction.
Oh, and a sprint.
Oh, and we have a sprint! Wow! You'd almost forget that there's 8 more points on offer this week.
So it's 2 races with no overtakes.
Yeah.
I am choosing optimism for the first time in my life. Not because I think it's going to be, one of the best races of the season, but I think the actual drivers themselves have been a bit more capable in the second half of the season. I feel like something that's kind of stood out to me. So I'm choosing to believe that they will just remember who they are and go for it and produce something. I can't go into this thinking it's going to be terrible. I can't do it to myself.
Well,
you're probably right.
I've got a question for F1, and this is why they should really put Dogra in the driving seat here, because I do not understand this.
Not in the driving seat.
No. You don't want him in the driving seat.
Head office. Why have they done a triple header of Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi? Why have they put Vegas on 2 races in the Middle East? I do not understand that. If they're going to bolt it on, you bolt it on with Brazil, because it's kind of the same sort of area.
The thing is, you can't. Because Vegas is on a Saturday. You need 7 days between 2 races.
Right. Then why not just do a standalone event?
I don't know.
Honestly, I've been seeing, journalists that I follow, and they are in absolute disarray. They're all in different parts of the world trying to get on a plane somewhere to somewhere that makes some semblance of sense, because they were in Vegas and now they're in LA and now they've got to get over to the Middle East. But have you got to go home first? Like, what? Everyone is in these really extreme travel, because we're not all multi-millionaire Formula One drivers who can hop on the jet and get straight over. So they've really made it quite difficult for F1 personnel, journalists, the whole shebang. All the people involved in Formula One that aren't multi-millionaires are having a terrible 3 weeks.
I think that's not a big portion, to be fair. People involved in Formula One who aren't millionaires.
Media.
You'd be surprised, because you'd be surprised. They're
not even paid. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very, very poor logistical planning. It makes absolutely no sense, and I don't really think it feeds into the eco initiative that they want to bring about.
But don't they have this again next year as well?
Well, they have optimized the calendar.
Yeah, to be fair,
it's still not the best.
It's getting there. The thing is, look, you can never get this perfect. Ultimately, it is thousands of people flying all over the world 24 times a year, and it's never going to be perfect, seamless, unless we just race the same track every week. It's never going to be perfect, but there's way to go. There's a way to go.
I think the biggest improvement that they made was all European races back to back. You now don't have to go Europe to Miami, then back to Europe, then to Canada, and then back to Europe again. They finally fixed that.
Can't they
So-
just group all the America ones together, all the Middle East ones together, all the Europe ones together, and
Well,
that just makes sense to me.
I
But
think if they did that, then everyone would finally discover that the American races, except for Coda, aren't that interesting because then you'd have 3 races and 2 of them would be very boring. Then
Yeah,
they,
it's very true.
maybe
And
then,
you just
then it
shove
wouldn't go
Canada in there.
unnoticed. So
you shove Canada, Mexico.
yeah, maybe then. Yeah, but
I
they
don't
also have like the
mind
licenses for when they can actually hold an event like that. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
It's not as
I
easy
don't
as we make
mind
it out
that
to be.
they.
No,
Yeah. We'll give them some credit, the people that make all these massive logistical decisions. But I mean, I don't mind all the flyway races kind of being grouped in different parts of the season. And because we do have all the European races together, so it does make sense. It does what it needs to
we
do.
start in Asia, Australia.
Yeah.
So
It's just going around in a big old circle.
I mean, it is a globe.
Sphere.
So
Sphere.
flat Earth.
No. It's not that kind of podcast.
We're not getting cancelled.
This is not that kind of podcast. But yeah, the moral of the story is Qatar is going to just be a big sweaty mess.
Yes.
That, in our professional opinion, that's what it's gonna be.
And on top of that, we have once again we saw it in 2023. We have another forced 2-stop race. Drivers not just a forced 2-stopper. We have a maximum stint length of just 25 laps, and then you have to come in for a new set. That goes for every single tire that you're on, whether you bolt on softs or hards. You can only do 25 laps, and then you have to go in for a new lap, for new tires. You can also go for a new lap, but I don't know what you would do with that in the car. But yeah. And we have F2 this week as well.
Yes.
So we might actually have some, actual rubber on the track. If it
Yeah,
doesn't
which
rain, that
will-
is.
I don't.
Yeah,
think it's
Qatar,
likely.
notoriously wet climate over in Qatar. Thank you, Weatherman Pigeon, for your insight.
You're welcome.
Watch
If it does rain, I'm
Watch
going to
it rain.
destroy you all.
I think I'll take my chances on that. But yes, the fact of the matter is having the F2 there this weekend will shake things up a little bit with the track conditions, make it a bit interesting, and we might see some good racing in F2. So there's something to look forward to.
I just looked up. Last time it rained in Qatar. You want to guess?
3 years ago.
October 21st in 2018.
I think rain is unlikely.
Yeah.
I would have to agree.
Yeah.
I think
I
there's
would have
more
to agree.
chance of
It
Thomas
was-
Pinto winning than rain.
I must give a disclaimer. It was an AI answer, so maybe not 100% accurate, but yeah. 7 years is a big time. Maybe it's time for a little bit of a,
I don't think we're seeing the comeback
No.
of rain in Qatar on the one weekend that they would not want rain in Qatar. I'm not buying it personally. But if you're right, can't even fathom. But yeah, we're in for it's an important weekend. It might not be an exciting one necessarily in terms of on track action, although that remains to be seen. If these pit stops get a bit chaotic with the stint length imposed and
by rules.
No, there is one thing I will not accept in Qatar, and that is Papaya rules. Because oh my god,
What happens if Piastri has a slow pit stop?
and he's ahead,
No, he's behind Norris because of the slow pit stop.
and he was
Yeah, and
he was ahead.
Yeah.
You have to let him through. do not swear on this podcast. They have to let him through. It is what it is.
We're getting an R rating soon.
We're gonna need it.
I'm pretty sure we are, or we're going to cancel one or the other. Yeah, I think it's time for predictions, though.
Please.
Let's make it interesting. Let's do nothing about championship.
No, the actual race, I am going to say Verstappen to win, Russell second, and probably Norris third.
Pretty sure you're giving Jazz a heart attack at the moment.
Can't count the Mercedes out this time.
I'm running out of people that we can't count out. Oh, we can't count out Max Verstappen. Now we can't count out Mercedes. And now he was so close and he got disqualified.
That sounds like a Norris problem. Anyway.
Look, it's a me problem. It's a me problem, Dan. It's a me problem. For the race. Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, Max Verstappen, he's gonna win the bloody thing. It is what it is. Antonelli P2.
Good for him.
Came to me. Leclerc P3.
That really does open up the title.
It really does.
Tears in my eyes as I said those words, by the way.
Yeah. But before we started recording, we talked about what kind of track is Qatar. And we came to a mix of Hungary and Qatar. Which, if you look at Verstappen's track record at both of those, it's really, really different. Because Verstappen was 9th in Hungary, but then they, of course, didn't have the upgrade yet.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were working backwards. Max will be P20 in this race.
That's more like it. Colapinto Max action incoming. No, I do think that Max is in the best form at the moment. Whose house is possessed?
That was a motorbike outside my house.
Nice. I need more Max Antonelli podiums, so I am going to agree with Jazz. I am going to put Russell on P3 though. So Max, Antonelli, Russell.
One thing we have to think about is how conservative are McLaren going to be with their floor?
Could go either way, I would say.
They're gonna run that thing as high as it can possibly go.
Tractor.
I literally saw a meme coming by where it was just the McLaren and then like tractor-sized wheels on that damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I saw the same meme. Yeah, I see the vision.
No, I think they're gonna get a little bit more conservative, but I wouldn't say that they're gonna go, overboard with it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think just play it safe without being overly conservative. That's probably what I would assume that they would do, but ooh.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Another thing we haven't touched on yet is setup. I mean, we talked about it just now, but only one practice session this week because we're going straight into sprint qualifying, then into the sprint, and then straight into qualifying. So you have only 1 hour of actual running where you can make decisions.
It's going to be a real big issue.
I mean, we saw it with Max in Brazil. They got it wrong, and he was heavily penalized for it.
Yeah, then he finished P3.
He started in the pit lane nonetheless.
Doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you finish. The thing is, I just think the combination of that circuit, F2 running that weekend, the temperature, I think it poses a lot of problems, which the top 3 can't afford at all. And McLaren, they haven't got one setup to worry about. They've got 2 setups to worry about. Do they split it? What are they going to do? It's going to be really difficult to gauge. And I think they're really just going to have to hone in on driver preference. It's going to be, I think, a mess in general. I think, and that will come out abundantly clear in the sprint race. We will see the era of just not having enough practice time across the grid. I think it will be a bit of a problem. But it's the pinnacle of motorsport. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
I just need this season to be done now. I need it to be over, because I feel like I've just been taunted since March. But it's gonna be a banger. It's gonna go down. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Who are we going for the sprint race? Who's winning the sprint?
Same. I'm going same podiums.
I'm going Merc 1, 2, undecided in which order, and Piastri third.
Why have we all written off Lando Norris, who's on the best
I didn't.
form run?
I put him on my podium.
You did put him on the podium. That's
did
fair,
you
that's
see
fair.
turn 1 in Vegas? I would not say he's on form.
That's embarrassing.
Okay, that was absolutely horrifying, and I said things towards my TV that can never be unsaid, quite frankly. But what I will say is that, amidst all that chaos, he still pulled it back. He finished P2.
If Russell didn't have a steering issue, would he have caught Russell?
Yes,
That's the
yes.
thing we don't know.
If, well,
Yeah.
as the great Max Verstappen once said. But the thing is, I think he would have caught him. He's got good pace. I think he could win. He could win the sprint race. He could win the main race.
He could, but I don't think he will.
My outlook going into these last two races is set the bar really low so you can't be disappointed. You could only be happy when it goes better than expected.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk about the season in its entirety, the races have been awful. Absolutely awful. There have only been like 4 good races this season, and we've had 2 of them in, the last 4 races. So, yeah. The fact that the title fight is this interesting is the saving grace of this season. Because if you take that away, if you'd have said Piastri takes it all away, or Norris takes it all away, or Verstappen takes it all away, this season would have been one of the worst in like years and years and years.
Yeah, I mean, fact of the matter is, we've got not only a title fight, we've ended up with a 3-way title fight going into the penultimate race of the season. We've got Max Verstappen trying to defend his title streak. You've got Norris, who has just been living on a prayer for about 7 years now, and it's finally all come to fruition for him. And it's not been quite the easy ride, because McLaren brought in this young, talented wonderkind called Oscar Piastri, and it's just been, it's not been easy to be the older senior teammate. He's finally had to race against someone in his own team that he wasn't just wiping the floor with. Shout out Daniel Ricciardo. But the issue is, it's not been an easy run for either, for any. Completely lost my train of thought for all 3 of them. So that's what I mean when I said earlier that whoever does win this, deserves it, because they've all fought for it and they're all fighting for something, and it's, everyone's got their individual story. You haven't got 3 just same stakes. Does that make sense? It's interesting. It's an interesting story, and I think that's kind of what we needed this season, because otherwise it's a good way to close out this era.
Yeah.
Because
with
this
how
era was so bad.
Yeah, with how boring the 2022 3 and 4 seasons were, title fight wise, this is a good way to end it.
Exactly.
And going into
I'll
Qatar,
take it.
I think we can only say one thing: just let battle commence.
Let's leave it there. Let the battle commence. I think that is everything from us, to be honest. Anyway, we will be back again this week. I think we're gonna do some stuff on F2 this week as well.
Yep.
Lots going on heading into Qatar. Please don't be put off by our cynicism. Going into the weekend, I'm sure it will be explosive in some capacity. So there's lots that could happen. Like, we could end this week with Lando Norris, champion of the world, but we don't know that for sure yet. There is still a lot of variables going in. But in the meantime, do keep an eye on our social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and whatever you call Twitter. We are everywhere. You can't escape us. But that was really threatening. The other place you can find us is on our website. We've got stuff coming out all the time. Okay, whose house is haunted now? But you can find us anywhere. Please do tune in, because we will be back. We're going to cover F2, and we will be back for debriefs after the sprint race and, of course, the main Grand Prix on Sunday. And I'm sure there will be plenty for us to talk about based on the many factors.
Whatever happens, we're going to talk about.
The many factors. Yeah, there are many factors at play. But thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.